COD Mobile in recent seasons keeps messing up the sensitivities. So today I show you how to fix this and get the perfect sense for yourself. Before we start, we need to fix some settings. First, get good FOV. FOV signifies how larger or smaller a target appears to us and also how much around us we see at a time. I use 66 personally, but as a general rule of thumb, 70 ±5 is a good FOV range for phones. For iPads, keep this at 90. The FOV FPP is set to default 50 value. I did not change this. Next is sensitivity switch, which signifies when your sense changes from HIFA to other scopes. I personally use gradual, and that is what I recommend. Now coming to the crux of this video, how to get perfect sense. First, we need to determine, do we need acceleration or not? Acceleration really helps on phones and I recommend having it on. But for iPads, you can use fixed speed as well. It's mainly preference, but there is a way to find out if you need acceleration or not. By the way, help this video reach a wider audience by leaving a like and commenting something nice. Click on speed acceleration and set this value to 0. Unlike our HIFA view, which changes with FOV, our ADS view is constant no matter what the FOV is. Thus, we calibrate our sense for ADS first and then derive the other sense from it. You can opt for fixed speed here too if that is more comfortable for you. I recommend acceleration on phones by recommending to keep it 0, so acceleration is minimal. Next, you need to pick a weapon you tend to use the most. Like if you're SMG main, you pick a SMG, and if you're assault rifle player, then you use assault rifle for doing these next steps. Choosing a base weapon is important as different guns have different ADS FOV, with SMG being more zoomed out and LMG being more zoomed in. Why we need to pick a gun we use more so we can derive comfortable sense for other scopes from it. This step is also important to set red dot sensitivity as it is separate from ADS sense now. I personally tend to use assault rifle more, so I use my Peacekeeper as ADS movement is high on it. Use guns with higher ADS movement so our sense will still be good if we use MX9, which has the fastest ADS movement in the game, or if we use the PKM, which has one of the slowest ADS movement in the game. First, we start with the PSA method calculator, which will give us good base sense. You can start with whatever ADS sense here, but I personally fix ADS sense in such a way that I can comfortably go from the center of the screen to the edge of the screen with a half swipe while I'm ADS. What is this concept of half swipe and full swipe? When we hold our phone, our thumbs have a natural resting position. Moving our aim left or right with our thumb in the center is called a half swipe. If you go entirely from right to left or vice versa, that is called a full swipe because the thumb is not in the center anymore. It just goes from one end to the other. So go back and forth from the center of the screen to the edge of the screen and make your ADS sense higher or lower so you can comfortably cover this much distance with a half swipe. Once done, note down this value as we will use this for the PSA method. PSA method is pretty simple. Go to the website link in description and input the ADS sense you just now noted. You will get a higher and lower value. Go to training room and try out both of these sense, and I will mention some techniques which I cover in a minute, and depending on which sense you like more, you select higher or lower. Once selected, it will give you another value and you test out the new sense again and select higher or lower what you prefer, and continue this 7 times to get your perfect ADS sense for yourself that way. But the question is how to test these higher or lower value. For this, we take into consideration the 3 important aspects of aim: tracking, flicking, and recoil control. Let's start with tracking first. I break down tracking into further aspects like tracking a point, then quick tracking of ADS movement, and then doing extended sprays. Hop onto training room and try to keep your aim constantly on the smaller target at the back of the map. And you want to move side by side and do jump shots, etc. movement while maintaining your aim on the center. What do you think? Was the sense comfortable for you? Once this is done, try the target at the far left and repeat the same. And finally go to the 5-meter board and repeat the same. Your tracking does not need to be perfect. We just want to determine if we like the higher sense more or the lower sense more for tracking smoothly and comfortably. Next, we practice quick tracking of ADS movement and point to this shutter and track from side to side quickly while you're also strafing and doing some movement. This is for tracking longer ADS movement, and for tracking shorter ADS movement, we look at this door and track the edges of it. Again, determine if you like the higher sense more or the lower sense. The final is just a spray test. I suggest you use a comfortable gun. I use AK-47 as recoil is completely worth vertical, making it easier to focus on the horizontal tracking. And you spray from one corner of the table to the other end while keeping a consistent pace for your tracking and also making sure your aim is leveled with the table. You can try this closer table as well, and you also want to repeat from the other side so we can track both the left to right and right to left movement. By now you should have an understanding if you want your sense to be higher or lower, but our test does not end there. Next is flick test, but this is more useful for adjusting our acceleration and will be covered in a bit. Final is recoil control, and you need to make separate builds for this. I personally do Fennec max recoil as the recoil climbs high and fast, but it's vertical recoil making it easier to control. Can make this build, otherwise I also do AK-47 max recoil, so choose either and go into training room and simply try controlling the recoil. If you run out of screen space for just pull down, it means you need higher sense. Keep a calm, consistent pace for pulling down and determine if you like the current sense or need higher sense, etc. With this, you have enough clarity as to what you want your aim to do and what sense will suit you. Keep repeating this following the PSA method, and finally you should have a number which will be your perfect ADS sense. If you found this video to be helpful and insightful, do share it on your social media so others can also benefit from it. Once you are done with this step, you should have good understanding of your sense and have perfect ADS sense via the PSA method. This still isn't perfect as we need to adjust certain things. For this, go to a Discord server and there should be a command for converting this ADS sense to camera sense, and it will ask for input like your FOV, your current ADS sense, and what gun you are using. Do this command and you will have perfect camera sense according to your FOV and ADS. And now comes time to adjust our acceleration. Sense at the end of the day is a personal thing. Calculators and formulas will give you the mathematical perfect sense, but you still need to adjust and get used to this perfect sense. But now let's work on our camera sense. You want to do a full swipe with your thumb, and this should cover 180-degree rotation in the game. Mostly this will not work as we have not adjusted acceleration. If previously started doing the test with fixed speed, now is the time to consider if you want to use acceleration or not. If you don't want acceleration, then simply increase your camera sense until you can do 180 flick, and that is it, you're done. But if you want to use acceleration, check for 180 flick. If you cannot do 180 flick, then try increasing your acceleration until you can. Otherwise, you want to lower your camera sense. Once done, we open our ADS and we test our flick sense next. Aim at one target and flick to another. Can you do this comfortably? We are not looking at accuracy of flick. I don't expect people to hit targets on their first try, and we can train our accuracy later. But does the acceleration and sense feel comfortable to you or not? If it is comfortable, then no need to do anything, and if not, then adjust your acceleration until you find your flicks to be comfortable. You are free to adjust both the acceleration and your ADS sense at this point. Doing this, your 180 flick for camera also changes, and now instead of changing your acceleration value, change your camera sense so you can do 180 flick. And you have balanced both your camera and ADS in terms of acceleration and perfect sensitivity. Verify your sense again by doing spray test and recoil test in ADS, and for camera, see if you can maintain hipfire in the 10-meter range. And also you should be able to do 180 flick. A note, you can either have high sense and lower acceleration or low sense and higher acceleration. I personally have higher sense and lower acceleration as it improves consistency of flick. I also tend to prefer distance acceleration, but that is a topic for a separate video. If you do want to use distance acceleration, do the same flick test for both camera and ADS and adjust your acceleration so you can have comfortable flicks in ADS, and then just tweak your camera sense accordingly. This is a very rudimentary and basic example, and there is more to distance acceleration. But if you have done everything good so far, you should have perfect sense and good acceleration value. And next, you just need to practice and master these sense. This video took a lot of time and research to make a perfect method for finding your sense, and any donations or channel memberships will be greatly appreciated. Right now I haven't activated them, but I will do so soon, so do check back if you're interested. Thus, so far we have only worked with camera and ADS. But what about the other scopes? This is simple. Go to a Discord server and there's another command for getting perfect sense for your scopes. By the way, big thanks to Cotton for making this Discord sense bot for us. I appreciate it very much. The command will again ask for a gun preference if you prefer SMG, AR or LMG, and your ADS sense and FOV. Give it the inputs and all of these sense for your scopes will be shown as output, and you want to copy these sense for your scopes. For ADS sense, I have given all 3 weapon types. Use the one you tend to use the most. Same with red dot and hollow. Rest other scopes should be good. Just sniper may be slow, so you can adjust sniper and 6x to your preference. More on this later. Once this is done, you want to use the same values for firing sense as well, so both your camera and firing are the same value. Most of the sense from the calculator should be good, but you can individually adjust them as per need. For scopes, you do a similar thing to adjust them as we did for the ADS test, like flick, tracking and recoil. But from my experience, only sniper sniper and 6x need adjustment if needed. For snipers, I break them down into drag aim, flick aim, and hard scope. For drag aiming, you aim at imaginary place and you drag your aim to the target and see if you can hit or not. Drag aim is similar to tracking, where we maintain consistent movement of our finger. We test flick aim next, which is the same but we flick onto the target. This will need practice for accuracy, while if your drag aim feels comfortable, that is what matters. Final is hard scope test, and this is similar to drag aim but we focus on target switching, and this encapsulates both flick and drag aim to it, and worth practicing in training room just for warm-up routine. If at any point during these tests you feel your Sens to be slow or fast, feel free to adjust them. In the previous Sens bot, there used to be a Quickscope Sens, which is mainly preference why I suggest going to hardpoint shipment and focus on quickscoping. Adjust your Sens as per need, and while you're in shipment, practice shotgun hipfire too, as that will allow you to master your camera Sens. And with that, you have perfect theoretical and practical Sens for yourself for COD Mobile. Do share this video to your social media so the people can also benefit from this video, and leave a like and comment if you like your new Sens or not. Until next time, take care guys, and bye.